Our little baby at the vet. Oh my goodness. I love this guy. Come on, Chucho. Hey, Chucho. What are you doing, you silly? Okay, Chucho. Okay, little buddy. Oh, you're cracking. Come on, Chucho. Come on, little buddy. No, you know what? It's really sad.
Everybody, welcome to the show. I'm CJ Davidson. What's up? I want to say thank you for joining me right now. That was a little message here from Labs and Friends, and we want to thank Claudia and Julie at labsandfriends.org. If you saw any of the animals that you liked, that you would like to adopt from that video, don't forget, you can call that number that was just there. Let me see if I can dig that up. Never mind. You can watch the video again because I'm going to post it again. It goes by too fast. Okay, I'm CJ Davidson. Hello around the world, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. I am your host, CJ Davidson, for that other web show. And as you can see, we started a Kickstarter fund, but as you know, that if you don't meet the goal, then all the money goes back. So if you're like $1 short, then forget it. You'll lose all the money. Okay. All right, I just want to put a shout out to and a thanks, special blessings to all the people who have helped us. Anne and Don Haluska, number one. Kay and Sandy, Nadine Raymond, Casey Ratner, Ramsey Cancino, Don Harris, Jennifer Zisk, Bob Mortimer, and a whole bunch of other people I don't have time to thank. But if you send me your name, I will thank you. Oh, and Tony Blank, I believe is his name, who sent us more sponsor people. To the rest of you, you could just blow me. I'm just kidding. Alrighty, so let's have a little fun here. We're going to start the thing out here with the best of animations.
Soul Seeker 6000 at your service. Souls located in Sector 6.
Hell yeah!
Initializing fully moved.
The Native American protesters blocking the Dakota Access Pipeline say the project risks spilling oil across sacred ground and into the water supply. And safety data show they're right to worry. Pipeline operator Sunoco Logistics has quite a track record. Reuters energy correspondent Liz Hampton has been digging through government data and broke the story.
Sunoco Logistics is one of the most frequent spillers of crude oil among large pipeline operators in the United States. In the past 6 years, Sunoco spilled oil more than 200 times.
Sunoco's spill rate is so bad that it is more than 2 times the industry average, only eclipsed by one other spiller on a per-mile basis, Enterprise Products Partners. While it's not at the top when it comes to the actual amount of oil spilled on the ground, there is still reason for concern.
Sunoco has had a few large spills in the past, particularly on its Mid-Valley pipeline, which runs from Texas up to Michigan. For example, that pipeline leaked more than 6,000 barrels of oil into the Kentucky River in 2005. It also leaked again a few years later. It spilled more than 3,000 barrels.
The safety offenses don't stop there. Records show Sunoco is right now facing a civil penalty for a Texas spill in early September of 800 barrels of oil. And this summer, it agreed to pay $850,000 to settle EPA charges for violating the Clean Water Act. When asked to respond to the findings, Sunoco and its parent company Energy Transfer Partners admit to safety problems in the past, but they say things are better now. They've shaken up management and brought in outside help to tighten safety controls. They say the Dakota Access Pipeline is safe, a claim that's hardly believed by protesters looking to permanently.
Samantha, this is Cindy with an I. This sweetie pumpkin strudel is the daughter of a nice lady in my book club. She's going to spend the night, okay? I'll let you girls gossip.
Good talk.
I thought a little playmate would be good for her. This whole goth thing is such a downer doodle.
Oh, yeah.
Besides, Cindy could use a change of scenery. Her house was so much closer to the blast.
Yeah,
Oh,
horrible.
2 girls kissing. Awesome.
Hey, so what do you want to do? Nice. You want to listen to Sisters of Mercy and dance like our back itches? Awesome.
Oh, dear. Cindy, today you've entered womanhood. Or something else is wrong. Okay. Ed, get the lights. Oh, that was weird. Anyway, your lady parts are ready to bear nature's most precious fruit. Or you're just really sick.
That's your cue, son. And don't forget romance. Women love romance.
Oh my God. Honey, you haven't done anything wrong. Your body is just changing. Or something. Ed, get a mop.
Well, I think she just wants to go home, Judith.
Did you have a good time with your little friend, Samantha? Oh.
She's awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad you had fun with Cindy with an I. Oh, dear. Ed, get the shop vac.
Well, hello. Wasn't that wonderful? That was the post-nuclear family. You saw who did it. I forget his name was Tom. And then we had Bowling for Souls. This was our animation. And, of course, the post-nuclear family tied into that right after we saw the poisoning at the Standing Rock, or it will be poisoned if they let that Dakota pipeline go in there. And thankfully, Obama stepped in, and the Justice Department stepped in, and the Corps of Engineers stepped in and said, hold on now, you can't do that. If this poisons everybody in the Missouri River that's downstream, if those pipes burst that you're going to put in there filled with oil, then you're going to have a problem. And so we don't want to have a problem. What we want to do is not do that, because it will poison everything and destroy life in its path on the river. And we want to keep the water clean. Okay, speaking of Flint, Michigan, they get nothing. Congress just told Flint, Michigan to eat shit, die, and go fuck itself. As you recall, Republicans in Michigan, including Republican Governor Rick Snyder, also known as Dick Snyder, his old job used to be an accountant and a bagman for the Koch brothers. He poisoned the whole town, and they refused to replace the pipes that he damaged, and thus contaminating the entire water supply. Sorry, message. Poison the whole town. Yeah, we already got that. And basically, it's debatable. It's like genocide. But On a lighter note, as you know, Wells Fargo CEO, whatever his name is, I really don't want to speak his name, but Elizabeth Warren grilled him, and so we're going to... How can you make that interesting, you say? Well, I think I have found a way to do that, but don't take my word for it. Here it comes now.
You haven't resigned. You haven't returned a single nickel of your personal earnings. You haven't fired a single senior executive. Instead, evidently, your definition of accountable is to push the blame to your low-level employees who don't have the money for a fancy PR firm to defend themselves. It's gutless leadership. In your time as chairman and CEO, Wells has been famous for cross-selling, which is pushing existing customers to open more accounts. Cross-selling is one of the main reasons that Wells has become the most valuable bank in the world. Wells measures cross-selling by the number of different accounts a customer has with Wells. Other big banks average fewer than 3 accounts per customer, but you set the target at 8 accounts. Every customer of Wells should have 8 accounts with the bank. And that's not because you ran the numbers and found that the average customer needed 8 banking accounts. It is because, quote, 8 rhymes with great. This was your rationale right there in your 2010 annual report. Cross-selling isn't about helping customers get what they need. If it was, you wouldn't have to squeeze your employees so hard to make it happen. No, cross-selling is all about pumping up Wells' stock price, isn't it?
No, cross-selling is shorthand for deepening relationships. We only do well.
Let me stop you right there. You say no? No? Here are the transcripts of 12 quarterly earnings calls that you participated in from 2012 to 2014, the 3 full years in which we know this scam was going on. I'd like to submit them for the record, if I may, Mr. Chair. Thank you. These are calls where you personally made your pitch to investors and analysts about why Wells Fargo is a great investment. And in all 12 of these calls, you personally cited Wells Fargo's success at cross-selling retail accounts as one of the main reasons to buy more stock in the company. Let me read you a few quotes that you had. April 2012, quote, "We grew our retail banking cross-sell ratio to a record 5.98 products per household." A year later, April 2013, quote, "We achieved record retail banking cross-sell of 6.1 products per household." April 2014, quote, "We achieved record retail banking cross-sell of 6.17 products per household." The ratio kept going up and up, and it didn't matter whether customers used those accounts or not. And guess what? Wall Street loved it. Here is just a sample of the reports from top analysts in those years, all recommending that people buy Wells Fargo stock, in part because of the strong cross-sell numbers. And I'd like to submit them for the record.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So when investors saw good cross-sell numbers, they did while this scam was going on. That was very good for you personally, wasn't it, Mr. Stump? Do you know how much money, how much value your stock holdings in Wells Fargo gained while this scam was underway?
Well, first of all, it was not a scam, and cross-sell is a way of deepening relationships. When customers
We've been through this, Mr. Stump. I asked you a very simple question. Do you know how much the value of your stock went up while this scam was going on?
It's all of my compensation is in our public.
Do you know how much it was?
It's all in the public filing.
Oh, you're right. It is all in the public records because I looked it up. While this scam was going on, you personally held an average of 6.75 million shares of Wells stock. The share price during this time period went up by about $30, which comes out to more than $200 million in gains, all for you personally. And thanks in part to those cross-sell numbers that you talked about on every one of those calls. You know, here's what really gets me about this, Mr. Stump. If one of your tellers took a handful of $20 bills out of the cash drawer, they'd probably be looking at criminal charges for theft. They could end up in prison. But you squeezed your employees to the breaking point so they would cheat customers and you could drive up the value of your stock and put hundreds of millions of dollars in your own pocket. And when it all blew up, you kept your job, you kept your multi-million-dollar bonuses, and you went on television to blame thousands of $12 an hour employees who were just trying to meet cross-sell quotas that made you rich. This is about accountability. You should resign. You should give back the money that you took while this scam was going on, and you should be criminally investigated by both the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission. You know, this just isn't right. A cashier who steals a handful of 20s is held accountable, but Wall Street executives who almost never hold themselves accountable, not now and not in 2008 when they crushed the worldwide economy. The only way that Wall Street will change is if executives face jail time when they preside over massive frauds. We need tough new laws to hold corporate executives personally accountable, and we need tough prosecutors who have the courage to go after people at the top. Until then, it will be business as usual. And at giant banks like Wells Fargo, that seems to mean cheating as many customers, investors, and employees as they possibly can. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Wow, that was intense, man, wasn't it? Jeez Louise. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we have like two different sets of laws for people. We have a set of laws for us. If we steal, we go to jail. But if you're an executive, you from Wall Street, then you don't go to jail. And you say, well, that's class envy, you say. But I think if you replace the word envy with fairness, where everybody gets the same punishment and for the same crime, basically, they stole money. The guy stole money from customers, people who are already giving you money. And I don't know about you, but if you ever go to the bank and you've waited in line standing up for like about a half hour or more, where you can't even sit down while you're giving them the money. I mean, it's really cold capitalism. I mean, you can't even sit down and wait your turn. I mean, hey, you're paying the bills. It's your money. But it's really strange here in America, where the customer gets less and the people who are being paid get more, like the executives, and then all of the people down below get fired. There was another story that just came out where there is a class action lawsuit against Wells Fargo by two of their former employees who were demoted for not engaging in fraudulent activity, which he was on at Capitol Hill for on trial. Not really trial, because nothing's going to happen to him, but a hearing. That's all they do, is they give hearings, and they just sit there and listen to an ass chewing, and then they go back to their yachts, as you can see. Okay, pretty much we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show again, closing it out. We didn't have a band. We were supposed to have martial arts, but that didn't happen. The guy who was going to bring us in, he has to find a new place to live. Yeah, everybody's under the gun these days. It's tough. This is supposed to be the best time in 8 years since the Bush recession, but it appears things are still a little rough. I don't know, maybe we should knock out some of those tax cuts and those tax loopholes to send money overseas and bring it back over here. Go ahead and use your vote this November. It's going to be very important, because we've got to be able to get rid of those tax credits to send the jobs overseas. It's not minorities, it's not immigrants, it's basically these white old guys in suits that just steal money from employees and from customers, and that's it across the board. There is no magic bullet. It's just a bunch of old white guys who use hate to distract you and sell lots of weapons to the street and to foreign countries and make lots of money while people kill themselves. And anyway, but on a brighter note, let's go ahead and check in again with do a station break here at That Other Web Show. I'm CJ Davidson.
Stand up.
There's our little baby at the vet. Oh my goodness. I love this guy. Come on, Chucho. Hey, what are you doing, you silly? Okay, Chucho. Okay, little buddy. Oh, you're cracking. Come on, Chucho. Come on, little buddy. No, you know what? It's really sad.